All right, Earthlings and CWO family, how are you? How are you guys doing tonight? It's Sean Cinephile Sanity, CWO family, and I am Tom Jones, and be um, good to be here. Uh, so tonight we're watching Times Square from 1980, starring Trini Alvarado, Tim Curry, and Robin Johnson. Uh, this is I'm gonna freely admit this is not as good as Ladies and Gentlemen, the Fabulous Stains, but it's worth a watch. Tim Curry is excellent in this film, and when this came out, I had a huge crush on Trini Alvarado, who was later in The Frighteners and a few other things. And so, yeah, um, but I tried to get I had this huge surprise, which I'm gonna do it, but it's not the way I wanted it. I still have to kind of work on it, but I didn't want to keep this from you guys. But a few nights ago, I found this program and I wrote this song about the CWO and pretty much immortalized us and all you guys in it. So uh, I loaded this thing up. I hope you guys can hear it. I'm gonna play that, so it's gonna be a couple of minutes. There's no video, so I'm gonna let it go, and you guys just listen and you know let us know what you think like after it's done. Well, wait, I'm gonna start. Damn it. I'm gonna start it from the beginning. I didn't know that it was not.
I was like, yo, that's a super glitch right there, man.
Well, that's weird. I don't know. Uh, fuck. I don't know how. I don't know how to get this thing restarted. Like once it's already gone. It's weird.
What, to stop it?
No, I got it stopped, but I mean to actually start from the beginning. It wasn't at the beginning.
I'm pretty sure, like, once it stops and you hit play again, it should just start right from the beginning.
Okay, we'll try it. Nope. I'll just play the
That's
other
odd.
version. Yeah, it is odd. Well, there's two different versions. Well, maybe let me try this for a second. Okay, that's not it, but maybe this will start the other one over again. Yeah, I guess that did it. I hope you guys can hear this okay.
It's low. I can hear it, but it's low. But it's weird. Like before the scream, it sounded perfectly fine. Now it sounds like it's muffled. I don't know if it's because we're live. Like, I gotta play it more with that audio and shit with CapCut and StreamYard. It's not something I really have to use all the time. So wait, you had this playing as your background music right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I don't use that. I don't play with that background music thing
Well,
because
that's the only way. Well, that's the
especially
only
when we
way I
gotta
can.
talk during the stream, it's like like music and talking at the same time. Like, nah. It's
Well,
just,
no, I can turn our mic off and all that. I don't know if that. I don't know if that'll.
yeah. I just know I could not sit there and talk and have music being played at the same time. It's distracting.
Well, no, I mean, I was just playing this so everybody could hear it, and stuff. I wasn't going to talk over it.
Yeah, I just don't know why you have it on the background music thing.
Because
Like,
that's the only way I could download it. Like trying to do it through CapCut, it doesn't work. And I wouldn't, like you said, I wasn't going to have it all distorted and shit like that. They don't
Yeah,
have.
I mean, sometimes, you just got to try it and record it that way
Mhm.
and just see how it sounds. Sometimes, you can underestimate it and it could still turn out good.
But that was a bust, so that's okay.
Yeah, that's for background music during a stream. That's not a good idea.
No, the
Yeah, I
the
gotta
the
see.
volume doesn't help, P. Rich. I need to figure out how to like load music onto CapCut, but I think they charge you for that sort of shit. So I need to find a program because I wanted to make a video with it and stuff like that. So
Yeah, you might want to whatever internet browser you use, maybe start searching for apps for that. I know there is some like free ones out there. But sometimes you download these things and it'll allow you to do shit like that, like what you're trying to do with audio. And then like a week later, it'll be like, if you want to continue to use this, you have to sign up for our account. And it's like, okay, well, fuck you
right.
guys.
So anyway, I'll go through the roll call and everything, and we
Yeah,
got
what's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us here tonight on a Wednesday.
we've got Rosalia, Zodiac, Chester Franklin, Jimmy Jam. We got Ashton. We've got Sailor George. Hey, Sailor George, 71. And we've got P. Rich. And then we have Honky Digital. Good to see you, sir. And, or mate, yeah. And I just wanted to make sure I did see him in here before I called him Derek again, like I did. And
Dear.
yeah, so that's it so far, you know.
Well, since we have P Rich in the chat right now, P, I sent you an email about doing the Alien 3 stream, which is this Friday. I'm pretty sure as of right now, I think there is a spot open for you. So if you still want to join us for that, I'll have to send you the StreamYard link in before Friday or whatever. But yeah, it looks like as of right now, it'll probably be me, Texas, Larry at the Horror Cat Dad, and probably P Rich from the Hatchet Boys. It'll probably be us four. So yeah, if you're looking to hang out with us on Friday, I guess just let me know and I'll send you the StreamYard link.
And it looks like Pap just put a shout out for us, put a thing for us.
Okay. I would love to get him on a stream someday, but I don't know. Every time I mention it to him, it kind of goes ignored. So eventually, I just got to give up on it, I guess.
Yeah, maybe one of these days. And no, Juno's not on strike. He's just kind of taking a break for a while.
Yeah,
I think.
Juno needs a bit of a break right now. He's got to attend to more important things right now before he can, have his free time and hang out on YouTube. So he's still uploading videos and stuff. He's putting out reviews and everything. He just doesn't have extra time to be streaming with us right now. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be back with us again after this month. So he just needs a couple more weeks to do what he's got to do, and he'll be back with us.
Yeah, I think he's just basically like, taking a break, going to his Walmart and kicking some of the greeters in the nuts, and things like that.
Probably. That'd be funny if I don't know, I always see like shoplifting videos on YouTube and it's always like Target and Walmart. That'd be funny if Juno showed up on one of those, getting chased by Walmart fucking door checkers and shit.
But
But
always,
yeah, dude, fucking Death Wish, 50 years old today.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my introduction to Charles Bronson. I remember my dad let me sit down with him at a very young age and watch that movie, but that was like how I became familiar with Charles Bronson. It was the original Death Wish, and to see it at 50 years old is like holy shit, man. Wow.
But as usual, I'm going to start off with our public service announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, in order to achieve an R rating today, a motion picture must contain full frontal nudity, graphic violence, or an explicit reference to the sex act. Since this film has none of those, and since research has proven that R-rated films are by far the most popular with the movie-going public, the producers of this motion picture have asked me to take this opportunity to say, fuck you.
So now that, you know, we have that settled.
Yeah. I gotta come up with some shit for Friday. I gotta, make up some fake movies and posters and shit. Gotta get some public service sponsorship too for us. So, like sometimes I'll be bored at night, and then like I just start thinking about shit like that, and then like I make a checklist for later on. Like, oh yeah, I forgot all this shit. Is like, holy fucking shit, dude. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit, dude. It's just chaos all over the fucking place. See, we need to take like 10 seconds out of that.
I think it's fine.
No, just say it's like holy fucking shit. But yeah, it looks like this one is on Look Movie. That's how I'm watching this tonight. I've never seen this before, so this will be another first time watch. And yeah, actually, I got a new release here in the mail today, which I'm gonna be unboxing on the channel tomorrow, I think. And this is definitely a movie that never gets talked about, which is really good to see that this, has a new release now. It's got an extended director's cut, which is another thing that I've never seen before. But yeah, I guess you could say the subject matter is a little, not for everyone, but it's right up my fucking alley, that's for sure. And this is a horror movie from 1985. That's Confessions of a Serial Killer. So yeah, really good to have this in an upgraded release on Blu-ray. I've never actually owned this movie before. I do remember renting this on VHS back in the 90s. But apparently there's like 13 to 16 minutes of extra footage in the director's cut, which is, that's a lot of time right there. So, but yeah, this is definitely a very gritty and grimy horror movie. It's based on the real life serial killer Henry Lee Lucas, who turned out to be not much of a serial killer anyway, because the guy was nothing but a fucking compulsive liar. But yeah, that's if you guys are into serial killer movies, that one definitely comes recommended.
Is that one better than Henry?
Dude, I was thinking about that today. I was like, how would I match those up? Oh man, it's tough because like both of them have like, brutal kills throughout it, but I might have to give the edge to Henry. Just like based on like atmosphere, the style of the kills, and like even the facts of it too. Like I think the facts of it kind of, ring more true than it does in this movie. But dude, that's a really tough question, honestly. Like they're both really good, for covering the same serial killer. But if I had to pick one and give the edge to something, it would probably be, yeah, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
That's cool. And then we got Reed just came in from Spicy 4K Action. Thanks for coming up and being here.
Yeah, he just uploaded a new update movie haul video yesterday, which was good to see. Yeah, it's good to see that he's back on the tube here and interacting with people, man. It's he's definitely a supportive guy, and he's the same time, he's a huge collector, and he really knows his shit at the same time. So it's good to see him back a part of the community again.
Excellent. Everybody in the chat's talking about the new Terrifier trailer that came out today, or the teaser trailer.
Oh,
And
there's a new teaser that I can't see. Like, I can only do like one of those. And I watched the original one that came out like almost a year ago. I can't keep watching like trailer number 2 or final trailer or teaser trailer, because eventually the movie's going to be completely blown out for me. I'm going to know too much.
Well, there was nothing in that first one last year,
Yeah, it was really just a scene clip, really, but like that's all I need, Like,
yeah,
I mean,
that
a
might
lot
not
of
even be in
times,
the movie.
yeah, who knows? That you're probably right, but I just know, like, well, like, there's times where, like, even like just the official trailer will come out. I only watch about 30 seconds to a minute, and I shut it off because I'm only trying to get a brief idea of what's coming with it. I'm not trying to have the whole thing, watched, and then like a lot of times I watch full trailers, and then something gets ruined for me at a later time when I watch the movie. So that's why I don't watch full trailers anymore.
But I mean, I don't know. This one actually looks pretty interesting to me. That I've seen both the other two movies, but this one I'm actually considering. Maybe I'll go. I told Jimmy maybe we should go see this one in the theater. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know about that Joker too, though, man. Really don't know about that. I don't think it looks good, honestly. I think it looks stupid. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm waiting actually for Final Destination 7. No, I'm just kidding.
I need to go back and watch those movies. I think I've only seen the first 3. I think there's like 5 of them. I think I've seen 3 of those movies.
6 of them now, I think.
No, I don't know, but I just know I like the first one. Second one has its moments. Third one, kind of forgettable. That's where I stopped.
I'm gonna skip Joker 2 and just wait for Joker 3, I think. House at the Edge of the Joke. That's what they'll call it.
Joker's house. Yeah, like it's a movie about Joker at his house, and on Halloween night he starts shooting all the trick or treaters. He's just picking them all from his fucking front window.
Poker face, Eric Cartman, spicy, Reed says. There you go.
Yeah, that is like one of the first things I thought. Like he's saying he's seen most of the Final Destination films. New one looks like it's way too much CGI and AI shit. That's what like I was thinking too. Like, new one is probably going to be saturated in CGI and AI bullshit. That is another thing that makes it hard to get into a lot of these newer movies, man. Just the look of things, and then sometimes you're watching these movies, and even though the subject matter is something you're into, it's just completely drained of atmosphere. Yeah, that's pretty much like where I'm at on that, Chester. Chester's saying he doesn't really watch trailers. I just watch, about 30 seconds to get an idea of what's coming, and then I shut it off. I don't go beyond that anymore. I've had way too many movies ruined for me just because of a fucking 2-minute trailer.
Yeah, it just really, depends. I mean, I don't know why they sometimes have to have like a jillion trailers, just do one and that's it.
It's almost like they don't even know the material they have. It's like I get the vibe that they look at it and they go, yo, this part right here, people will love it. So if we show it in the trailer, that'll get them off their asses to come out and buy it and, you know, buy a ticket and see it or whatever.
You know, Zodiac has a point here. He says also not excited for the Alien Romulus movie either, but he's a pessimist. But, you know, I was thinking, who really wants to watch a movie with people getting like alien dicks in their mouth, you know? There's too much of an abundance of like alien porn, you know, in those movies.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, but okay.
Those face huggers, man. Basically, they're like, you know, you're gonna take my egg and get, you know, fucked up, you know. So that's what I'm talking about, you know. It's all sexualization because the alien, you know, wants to, you know, bust its egg in you.
Okay, Alien Romulus coming out this summer. I know I'm excited for it right now. You know, what I've seen in the first trailer, it looks interesting.
No, it actually does look good to me because it looks like a throwback to the actually very first one. So, you know, you know, that shit's like scary though still, because I mean, like when I see that shit, I'm like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, like, I mean, you know, another thing is you have, isn't that like Fede Alvarez? I think he's directing it. One of those, or it's
Yeah.
either, is it
Yes.
Fede Alvarez? Like, that's another, with that name attached on there, I'm interested right off the bat.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's definitely going to be good, but, you know, Fede's got a really good filmography track record. You know, he's done pretty good things with Hollywood movies, and you know, I think that's one thing to really, you know, keep in mind at this point. You know, the guy knows what he's doing, but is he going to come through with a solid Alien movie? It's at this point, all I can do is just keep my fingers crossed.
But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and get this started in a couple of minutes. So everybody, you know, when you're ready, let me know, and we're gonna, you know, start with this here.
There are 8 million stories in the big city. People say I have a bird's eye view, perched up here night after night, looking right down into the heart of the beast.
That stuff comes with me. Will you get in the car?
Yes, it's story time. This is Johnny LaGuardia. It's that kind of night and that kind of feeling.
Pamela, this is Dr. Huber of Columbia Presbyterian, professor of neuropsychiatry. He's attending this one. Very privileged to have him here with us.
I was in a car crash, or was it the war? But I've never been quite the same.
Pammy and Nikki, they've had it with being looked after. From now on, they're going to run the show for themselves and find themselves some dreams.
All right, breathe, Mother, I'll brain your blows out. What are you laughing at?
You said brain your blows out.
Out on the street and out of the night, they have a message for the city. And they're going to be heard on Times Square.
I don't see why we need to be famous.
You know a lot of things. I only know one thing, and it is that they're gonna see who I am.
Apathy, banality, boredom, television.
But a new iconoclast has come to save us.
It's the Sleaze sisters. It's Nikki and Pamela. Go to it, girls.
Get out of here! This is my place! You all leave visiting! Out!
This is Nikki Murata, famous murderer and entertainer. I'm throwing a concert tonight in Times Square to celebrate my escape from mental illness. Don't miss it.
It's coming together.
Pammy and Nicky found each other and themselves on the streets of New York. Now, the whole city is going to share their exhilaration. The venue will be Times Square.
Yeah, so that gave pretty much, that trailer right there gave everything away.
Yeah, I just listened to it. I was reading the chat and listening to it, but yeah, like I know you said that this is probably isn't good as Stains or whatever, you know, but there's a lot of movies that Tim Curry has done over the years that I don't really care for, but I like him so much as an actor that he will usually be good enough for me to keep watching a movie. If I see, like, if he's like, you know, one of the main characters, just him alone could be enough for me to be interested with watching something.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's really good in this. The only thing that I don't, I mean, it's not even, no, it's not even like I don't like. It's just, it's interesting that he doesn't use really his English accent. It's all, well, like a cross between an English accent and a New York accent. He talks way different than, you know, normal. Yeah, he would, you know.
Right.
But this all also made me think of, there's a movie with this singer called named Hazel O'Connor, and it's called Breaking Glass. And basically, the movie's kind of like The Stains. It's like actually a kind of a precursor to The Stains. But she plays this singer that has this punk rock band, and then you know, they're playing these dingy clubs, and then she gets noticed, and then the record label tries to turn her into something that she's not, and tries to have her get rid of the band and that she has and stuff. But that's a really good one as well. And I was like, oh yeah, fuck, I just thought of that today, because I actually had bought the soundtrack to that movie at a flea market, and this was before the movie. I never saw the movie here, you know. It was just, but the soundtrack was out, and it has this great neon pink and yellow cover, and her on the front. And I thought it was one of those blind buys for me when I was a kid. I was like, well, I'm gonna check this out, and I liked the music, so I thought, well, I want to see this movie and stuff, and I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. This came out in 1980.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, if everybody's ready, I'm gonna get us started with the.
Dude, that 28 minutes went by like.
Yeah, I know. So.
I'm good to go.
All right. Well, so it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play.
Always got to look at the movie theater, you know, when you see Times Square. You always got to see what's playing at the movie theater.
Oh yeah, and the best thing is that you have like on one side of the street you've got the mainstream movies, and then you've got the porn on the other side and whatnot.
Yeah. Now I don't know if you realize it or know it at all, but you know that whole strip where it was like 42nd Street, hookers and fucking, you know, dirt bags all over the place. You know, that was completely cleaned up and bought out by Walt Disney. Walt Disney bought that whole strip. And now it's all like, I think there's like a McDonald's there. There's like all child-oriented things now on the strip. And it's just weird to think that it used to be like this drug-filled hooker spot. And now it's all like going to Chuck E. Cheese now. Like, you know, it's just like, what the fuck?
Well, the funny thing in this too is you can tell that like these people here on the street, those aren't fucking actors. Those are real, people that they just kind of, they probably didn't do a whole lot of permission for, stuff and just went with it.
Yeah, man, it's guerrilla filmmaking at its finest. I love shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, that movie Miss 45. I think it came
Yep.
out in '81. There's, that movie is like guerrilla filmmaking at its finest. It's that they're right on the spot, crowded areas, and everybody that's in the background is looking at the camera guy. Like, oh wow, I'm on TV. Like they're like waving to the camera in the background
Right.
and shit. Like I love seeing that shit though.
Yeah, Robert Stigwood did Saturday Night Live. He did I think Thank God It's Friday might have been another one of his movies, but also, of course, Grease and all that stuff. But, and the funny thing about this was, he's trying to get into the so-called punk and new wave sort of thing here, and there's still a song with this one woman that sings it with Robin Gibb. So you still have, you know, one third of the Bee Gees on the soundtrack. Oh yeah, and then in this you get a cameo by Elizabeth Pena. This must have been one of the first things she did. You'll see this coming up. I love
Like
her.
for some reason, I thought of her and Jacob's Ladder. I know
Yeah,
she plays like the wife or whatever. I don't know why. Like that her role in that just came right to mind for some reason.
yeah, I miss her a lot. I thought she was great.
She's not with us anymore.
No, she had some kind of like heart attack or some kind of thing. Yeah, she's been
Oh,
gone for a while.
I did not realize
Unfortunately.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like she's someone I would pay attention to all the time, but that's still pretty unfortunate, man.
But that movie
You
I
know
was
what?
telling you, huh?
Go ahead.
That movie Lone Star with Matthew McConaughey, and she was in that as well. It's an early Matthew McConaughey one. Chris Cooper's in it also, and that's a great movie. And I
Damn.
mean, she's so good in that.
Yeah, she died back in 2014, 55 years old, man. What
Yeah.
the But you know what? She's in a movie with Nick Nolte, an action thriller called Extreme Prejudice. She's actually pretty good in that too. That's like a late '80s movie, something like that.
She's in, I think, Rush Hour and the second one too. I think.
She's also in the '96 Lone Star movie with Matthew McConaughey.
That's the one I was just mentioning. But here she is coming out here. Yeah, you're playing this shit.
So apparently she's also in Blue Steel with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah,
I picked that
yeah.
up on Blu-ray a few months ago, but I still haven't watched the movie. Like I've seen the movie before, but it's been years since I've seen it, so I got to go back and watch that. And like I was looking at the features, and there's Jamie Lee Curtis is not in the features at all for Blue Steel. And like I knew right away when I didn't see her name because apparently she didn't have a good experience with making that movie and she totally despises the whole subject matter of it too. So like like I know there was some people like I can't believe she's not showing up in the features. Like, well, it's probably a good reason for that. She did not have a good time making that movie.
She couldn't believe it wasn't butter.
And apparently Elizabeth Pena is also in Strangeland. So she's probably got like a supporting role. Like I can't remember her in Strangeland. I like how there's like nobody here at this fucking meeting.
Right.
She looks miserable. Isn't she pretty? She looks like miserable shit. But P. Rich did Die Hard 3 last night. That was a fun one. I
Yeah,
wasn't able to join in and watch the movie, but like I was in the chat and it's some solid
yeah,
laughs about that.
I was there and watching the movie and everything.
Yeah, I didn't have the time to like I by the time I realized he was going live with it, I just wasn't able to sit down and watch it, but I had some time to be in the chat. Yeah, we should do a watch party for society. That's a fun one. As bizarre as it is, it's still fun. This guy talking. There are 8 billion stories in the city.
Yeah, that's Tim Curry.
It doesn't even sound like him.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. He has this weird fucking accent in here.
He just sounds like a regular Joe. I just can't put his face on that voice right now. It's Tim Curry, man. Like he's on his way out, man. Like he's
Yeah.
really like on his deathbed, unfortunately. He's like wheelchair bound. Like any day now he could go.
It's like she writes in this letter and then they're showing her like, looking out that window and she looks like she's like freezing to death, or something. Just so weird. But yeah, a couple of friends of mine went um to like one of those monster paloozas like 2 years ago and saw Tim Curry there and stuff. And this friend of mine, she got he autographed a couple of posters, but it's like they wheeled him out, in a wheelchair and everything, and sounded
Yeah,
pretty sad.
I think he did like one of those things like not even a year ago. So it's he still has the will and the energy to want to be involved with that stuff for the fans, which is like kind of astonishing. When you look at his condition, it's like, like dude looks like you could like touch him and you'll just like turn to dust or something like. But he's not letting that illness fully take over his life. He's still getting out there and trying to be a person and everything.
Right.
But it's unfortunate. I mean, he's 78 years old. Like obviously he's up there in age, but it's just sad to see that happen to somebody like him.
Pardon
But
me. Do
like,
you have any Grey Gooch on. There we go.
But like I really feel like when you look at Tim Curry's body of work, I feel like he wasn't utilized very well in movies.
No,
Like he's made a lot of great movies, but when you look at everything he's done, it's just like, he could have been used in so many better movies and he just wasn't.
and also like in the late 70s, he had recorded a couple of albums, and I guess he was kind of hoping that his recording career would take off or whatever. I mean, I heard he was actually really good live, but I guess he finally had to resign himself of being Frankenfurter. But I remember like around that time, I'd read some interviews with him, and he was just really like, I'm fucking gonna be stuck with this character for the rest of my life, and stuff like that. But I don't think that was a bad thing.
We got the dog here tonight. There goes
Ah,
Lily.
lovely.
Say hi, Lily. You have no idea what's going on right now, do
Yay! Yay!
you? Dancing dogs on the street.
Yeah, Chris, Kino Lorber put this out a couple of years ago. Honky says his grandmother's 93, been smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day since she was 12. It's all up to the man upstairs. When you tap out, 78 ain't that old. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I agree and disagree on that. I don't think there's anybody upstairs deciding on when we check out of here, but that's your choice to believe that if you want.
Timestamp is 1350. So now, like she's in this hospital and they're like kind of trying to see, make her think there's something wrong with her. And then you have the other girl in here, and she's just kind of acting nuts, but eating flowers and shit like that. The usual kind of stuff.
So we have Tony Soprano's lawyer in this movie.
Oh, okay.
But like that girl that's in the hospital right now, I like how unpredictable she is. You don't know what the fuck she's gonna do next.
Right.
You ever see a movie with Tim Curry? I think it's like 78, late 70s. It's I think Brian Cox is in it too. It's called The Shout.
Sounds familiar, but no, I've never seen it.
I gotta like read the plot summary again. I watched it one time. I found it on Comcast On Demand in like the early days of that, like when everything was just going over the digital cable.
Right.
And I found it on there, and I was like, "What the fuck is this movie with Tim Curry?" And I started watching it, and it is like a horror thriller, but like just a strange concept overall. But I'm gonna try to look that up again. But it's like that's a movie I never see anybody talking about, and I don't even know if it has like a legit release. That's how like obscure this movie is. But yeah, it came out in '78. It's called The Shout. And who else is in this movie? John Hurt is in this movie. Alan Bates. Susanna York is in it too.
Oh, wow.
So here's the concept. When a wandering man named Crossley, Alan Bates, insinuates himself into the lives of British composer Anthony Fielding and his wife Rachel, the couple is cautiously hospitable, isolated in a rural Devon where Anthony works on his music. The Fieldings find that their enigmatic guest has some strange preoccupations, most notably an obsession with dark, ab aboriginal magic. What the fuck? This is really like, what the fuck, man? Crossley claims that he can kill a person with a magical shell, or no, with a mystical shell. So, like, the concept is this guy could shout so loud that he could kill you with it. But, like, it's not just that. Like, there's other things going on in this movie. But, yeah, it's definitely a strange one. But I just know when I first saw it, I was like, what the fuck is this? But that really is a movie that never gets talked about or mentioned. I don't think I've ever heard one person on YouTube ever mention that one.
Is this the guy you were talking about? That's the Sopranos lawyer?
Hold
Not
on,
the
I think.
not the doctor looking dude, but the other guy.
Yeah, him. Yeah, he's the Tony Soprano's lawyer.
I mean, look that looks like a fucking hairpiece, right there, and it's not a very good one because it's like a fucking comb over.
It probably is, dude. I mean, his hair looks like 1980, like all over the place.
And it's like he's throwing these fucking sayings to her to try to get her definition of them and everything. And it's like ridiculous. This film is about two girls that are in this like sort of mental hospital, and then they go out and they go through the city and kind of like cause havoc. One girl wants to be famous, one girl doesn't want to be famous.
Wait, this is a mental hospital they're at right now?
Yeah, kind of.
I mean,
They
it
go,
just looks like a regular hospital, but they're just, I guess it is really, but they're just like making it look like a mental institution or whatever.
yeah. Some of the plot has no real like kind of rhyme or reason and stuff.
Dude, if I was her roommate, I'd be like, I gotta make sure that she's asleep before I go to sleep, because I think this girl might cut my throat in the middle of the night. I don't know. I couldn't sleep in the same room with her.
No, Chris, it's not that much of that kind of vibe because nobody's like getting killed.
Maybe Joseph is catching up on movies. Who knows? But I know I'm so glad I don't have to answer the same questions anymore. It's a shame. Nice guy, but Jesus Christ, that ran its course, man.
I think he's like been trapped in the theater watching Twisters over and over.
He's stuck in a twister watching Twisters.
Because he called the Dave McRae hotline to complain about Twisters and stuff. So Yeah, all those movies on his list. And he's always saying, he would always tell me, I'm doing my homework. Yeah, sure you are.
That's
Poor
why I
man.
stopped giving him advice. I realized it was just, it was kicking a dead horse. You know, I give him advice, and then the next day, still asking me the same questions. Like, come on, Joseph, are you trying to do this on person, or like, are you trolling me on purpose right now? That's what I'm getting right now. Like, that is the vibe that's going out here.
Fucking P. Rich. Maybe he got drafted in the NBA.
Oh shit! Fuck you guys! I'm on TV. Nah, it really is a shame with him. You know, he means well. It's not like he's purposely trying to piss people off, but he does find a way to make people frustrated.
No, I used to know a guy kind of like him, but he was almost worse, actually. But he would always show up like whenever I changed jobs and stuff. And his name was like Steve. And I mean, I don't know. People always said, you have the patience of a saint with that guy. And I'm like, well, he doesn't bother me, and stuff. And so he started coming up with like nicknames though for like people. And so he what did he say to me one time? He said like Russ the Muss or something ridiculous like that. So I started calling him Stevie Weavy, and so one time he was at one of the places I was working at, and he's like, "Who's that?" And I go, "That's Jeanette." And he goes, "Jeanette Wet." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 Steve, you're not gonna call her that." And then he goes, "Jeanette Pet." And I said, "Yeah, I think that's a little better, you know." And then there was this guy that worked there named Bud, and I said, "Hey Stevie," I go, "See that guy there?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "That's Bud." And then he goes, "Hey Bud." And like so Bud's coming down the escalator, looks at him, has this smile on his face, and then he goes, "Bud the Dud." And then you see that smile just go, it's immense, like quizzical, like what the fuck?
Oh God. I'd be like, shit, dude, this is gonna go in like a bad direction one day. Like it almost did, it sounds like, but
Yeah,
I'd be like worried with that like every day. Like, what's he gonna say that's inappropriate now?
I mean, it's like when he said that, I was like, no, 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 don't, you can't say that, because
Yeah.
she didn't hear him, and I was like, man, if he says it again, and stuff, but people were, they just always be like, oh, he's really weird, and it was just like, I don't know, for a while, I'd always run into like, weirdos. There was this one guy that talked like a fucking robot. And when I was when I was getting married, my mom had come, up to California and stuff, and my ex best friend was my best man and everything. But this guy, his name was Robbie, and we called him Robbie the robot because he would say things like a fucking robot. It was weird. So we see him on the street. Me and my best friend, and my mom went with us. We were gonna get our, fitted for our tuxes. And I see this guy, and I go, "Oh, hey, Robert," and he goes, "Hello, Peter. It's nice to see you." And my mom looks at me. She goes, "Peter, what the fuck?" I go, "Don't ask." It's just like, Chris, it's Trini Alvarado and this other girl, Robin Johnson. Robin Johnson's the girl with the the shorter hair and the cap and all that.
Yeah, you know, people like that where you have to have like a little bit of extra patience for. And like I wouldn't really consider myself a very patient person. I always want things like right now, and you know, if I can't deal with somebody, sometimes I just walk away from them like mid conversation. But you know, sometimes you just gotta, you know, slow yourself down a minute, stop and think. Just, you know, maybe you gotta bring yourself down to someone else's level, you know, with respect. And I don't know, you know, just to be like one of those people you're working with, like, oh, he's weird. How do you talk to him? Like that response right there would make me not even respond to that person. I would just walk away. Like, how do I talk to them? Well, guess what? I can't even talk to you.
Well, right. I mean, it was so, sometimes like, especially working in retail, people would just like, I mean, sure, customers are annoying, but, our job is to, take care of them, whatever. And that tennis player, Martina Navratilova, was in the store one time. And so somebody comes up to me and they go, Martina Navratilova is in here and she's a real fucking bitch. Can you go take care of her? And I was like,
Oh god.
yeah. I go, yeah. And so, I helped her out, but she was a bitch. I mean, I was just like, fuck, man, drop the attitude. But, that's what I was thinking, but I was just like, what the fuck ever. It's
Probably
just
the
like,
type of person too, like, you know, you're probably going above and beyond to help her out. And then like after, you know, she leaves, like, oh, so what did you do today? Oh, I went to this shitty record store with all these shitty people in it, you know, like
yeah, probably.
it probably just wasn't the situation at all.
Honky says Joseph got drafted by Coach Pope's exorcist. Yeah.
Zodiac said Martina Quefertalova.
Yeah. She
She's a
was.
queen. Goddamn bitch. She's a quaif.
Yeah, I used to manage a CD store, Chris, so I know how you feel. Yeah, see, they won't even tell her nothing, and there's nothing that's really wrong with her.
Wait, how did they get out of the hospital? Did they sneak out?
Yeah, she told her, come on, kept saying, come on with me, and they stole this fucking ambulance and everything and stuff.
Yeah, like I thought I was watching that like unfold, but like I kind of got lost in like hearing you in the chat. But like I was like, yeah, I just wasn't sure on that exactly, so that's why I asked.
But I mean, this really did have a really good soundtrack. There's a few things, like I told Rosalia, there's a few duds here and there, but all in all, and the fact that they actually included this band, the Ruts, with their song Babylon's Burning was really cool. See, her dad's trying to become mayor or some bullshit.
Right.
Yes, they're like the they play Lou Reed's "Take a Walk on the Wild Side," and like when I would play that soundtrack sometimes. I've heard that song so much, like over the years, I would just like play it at 45, so it would be faster. when that part where the color girls go do 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 do, you know, so it's really, you know, ridiculously fast and everything. So now they're gonna go squat in this like warehouse type place. It's all fucked up.
Yeah, P. Rich, I'll send you the link for Alien 3 on Friday. I'll email that to you when I get done here tonight. So if if you're able to join us, that's great. If something falls through and you can't join us, not the end of the world. No worries, man.
Tons of dead trunks, you know, they find like a severed head or something. They don't, but that would be funny.
I think it'd also be funny to see what they do with it.
Right.
Like
Turn it into like a candle holder or some shit, you know.
or an ashtray.
So this is where they call themselves the Sleaze Sisters. See, and that's too bad that Joseph's not here because he'd have something new to say instead of the Pole Sisters.
Yeah, probably.
Then we'd have it like all the time. Sleaze Sisters, you know. I want to see Danielle Harris in a movie called The Sleaze Sisters.
Yeah, I wish I could remember that comment that one time Johnny was like messing with him and he was like, "Tell your mom I love her," or something like that.
Yeah.
Said something about like his mom, but it wasn't like 100% disrespectful. It was like meant to be like a subtle joke. He was like, "Tell your mom I said hello," or something like that. And he's like, he responds, "Why are you talking about my family? Like, they're my family. I love them." He said something like that. It was just like, oh my god, like like. You could see like Johnny was like trolling him in like the most like unintentional way ever, and he managed to like get him to bite on it.
Yeah, because he said, "I'm gonna tell my parents good night," and he says, "Well, tell your mother I said good night too." And then he's like,
"Oh man, I think that was it." So man, like I just remember reading that whole conversation and being like, "What the fuck?"
now she's trying to tell her like if she's ever in trouble to yell her name as loud as she can, you know, and stuff.
I don't get it. Like why?
If she's ever in trouble, like if the other one's not around or something, you know, so she'll hear.
Oh man, the movie theater has a Bronson movie on the billboard there. Hard Times, 1975.
And Oklahoma Crude was on there, I think.
Yeah, it went by so quick. I saw the Hard Times on there, but that's another very underrated Bronson movie, in my opinion. I know, like most Bronson fans will talk about that movie, and rightfully so. But like, I just feel like that movie kind of goes like underappreciated with most like cinephile people, fans or whatever. But I don't know. I just don't really see many people ever talking about that one. It's a really good movie, though.
I think I've seen it, but it's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's like a boxing movie, kind of. It's this guy comes across the character in it. It's being played by Bronson, and realizes that this guy could really fuck people up, and people are just kind of looking at him as like this old, washed up guy. But meanwhile, he's still kicking everyone's asses, and only this one guy could see the value in him.
He's like a boxer, right? Or a fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, and his head's kind of shaved in it.
Yeah, his hair is pretty short, and yeah he looked way younger than his other films. Obviously, Bronson didn't age very well, but it's not about Bronson's looks. It's about his charisma and what he really brings to a character.
Right.
But if I remember correctly, I think Bronson originally was a boxer
Yeah, I
before he
think so.
started acting. I think he actually was like a legit boxer for a long time, and I guess he probably got his bell rung too many times and realized that he can't do that his whole life. Man, that fucking house looks Jesus Christ. I'd have to like even if my clothes didn't touch anything in there, I'd have to still light them on fire.
Now she's trying to tell her, like she should write different things because she says everything you do or say is poetry.
Oh
Trini,
yeah. That backfired there for you, Pay. Oh, man. Yeah, P. Rich is saying one time I asked Joseph is saying one time he was asking me about what I thought about Danielle Harris, and I said, "Who? What are you talking about?" It's a big mistake. He wouldn't shut up about it after that.
that reminded me like this ex of mine. I was staying at her house visiting, like her, and she had this little nephew. He was about maybe 6 at the time, maybe 6 or 7, and we were playing some video games. And then in the room where they had the computer, there was her mom had a picture of Jesus on the wall. So we're playing the video games, and I look up and I go, "Hey, who's that?" And he goes, "Jesus." And I'm like, or I go, "Yeah," and I go, "Who is that?" And he just gives me this look. I mean, for like a 6-year-old kid, it was hilarious. I mean, the quickest, like, "Are you out of your fucking mind? You don't know who Jesus is?"
Yeah, right. Like, it gets to the point where, he's looking at you like, are you really a human being right now? Like, you sure you're not like a fucking life form from somewhere else? You don't know what the fuck that is? Like,
This is a cool Susie Quattro song that they play.
it seems like most of the songs I'm hearing are like pretty much like cover songs, it seems like.
There's a couple, not too many. This security guard guy cracks me up. The black guy with the headphones, pretty funny.
Her accent, her New York accent, like she could pass for being in the mafia with that accent.
Yeah.
Look what they're wearing. What the fuck?
Yeah. And they're pulling the old, let's wash windshields, for a couple of bucks.
I mean, nowadays you get to stand on the side with a fucking sign, saying you're hungry, and you'll have
Right.
about $60 in about 2 hours because people are fucking stupid. Like I know people that do shit like that. Like they'll literally like they're too lazy to get jobs, so they rather go panhandling. And the amount of money that some of these people tell me that they make in a day is like, fuck, dude. Like you're making nearly like $100 a day just by begging. Like holy shit, dude. And people really are stupid enough to be like, oh, look at this guy over here. He's starving. I have to give him $20. We all know where the money's going, you know? It's not going to food.
Right.
3-card Monty.
Yeah.
Ah, it's that guy from The Exterminator and all
Yep.
those other movies, too. I forget his name. Black guy.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you just let somebody walk in there and start touching money?
Right. And he just takes off. And then this dick is like, cop, but that he was probably a cop too,
Yeah, who knows? But I don't. Back in those days, getting locked up for 3-card Monty's like really.
Right.
It's like locking somebody up for jaywalking or something.
But I mean, it's funny because, like I said, like the guerrilla filmmaking, because he's like bumping into people. You can tell they're like, "What the fuck?"
I'm sure a lot of those like locals are probably like, I don't walk down that street anymore. Why? Because they're always filming a fucking movie over there, and someone runs into me. Honky said they sell panhandling starter kits, bed jacket and shades.
He should stop talking about Danielle Harris before he shows up.
What? I'm here.
And then it's funny they go into this porn theater and everything.
I don't know. If I was that one girl, I'd still be like, that black guy robbed us, right? Like, like they're just like totally over the head in like 5 seconds. Stealing wigs.
Yeah.
There definitely is a couple unstable chicks here, like shit they're doing.
I just love the fact that it's like this pink, almost like a clown wig and shit,
Oh yeah.
And then Trini's got that blonde wig, and she looks like an old lady.
Oh, who is that actor?
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out.
He's the psychologist in Society.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I gotta look that up to confirm it because it looks exactly like him. I think it is him.
She says, "I'll brain your blows out." I'm like, what the fuck? Does the carpet match the pubes?
Well, this is a weird performance here. I mean, shit, even the stripper's getting out of there.
See, actually, this scene though, I thought this was kind of cool because she tells him, she tells her, I know this guy and stuff, and she's gonna, ask this guy for a job, but she tells him, I'm not gonna take off my clothes, and so he has enough respect for it. He goes, I like that respect, so they could have gone a whole sleazier route in this movie with that and stuff.
Ben Slick. Yeah, that is the same actor. His name is Ben Slack. Who was that when the girl approached that guy and was like, "Do you know where this theater is at or something?"
Ashton says, God damn it, I had to bring up society. And then it turns out that guy's in this movie.
Yeah, the psychologist turns out. It's funny how coincidences work that way. But yeah, that is definitely the same actor, though. So apparently he had like a reoccurring role on the Columbo show. That was like his big thing, really, as far as acting. And overall, he's like he looks like he was in Bachelor Party, even Silent Night, Deadly Night 4. So he's got like a mixed filmography. Or no, he's in the newer Columbo series from the 90s.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember that in the 90s, like when Columbo came out in the 90s, I actually wasn't really aware of the original Columbo show, and people were talking about like, what the fuck are people talking about? Original Columbo show? Like I thought it was a new show that came out in the 90s. Yeah, Zodiac's talking about or he's mentioning the dentist. That's actually not a bad slasher. Like I don't even think that had a theatrical release, if I remember correctly. But I really think that's actually like one of the more underrated and clever horror movies out there. Now, the second one is a bit of a stretch. That one doesn't really work that well, but yeah, the first one is, it has its moments. And there's some scenes in that movie where like you see the dentist like just tearing away at people's teeth and shit, and you're like, you got all these close-up shots, and I'm always like, oh god, I can't even watch this shit right now. It looks so painful. But yeah, I think that the original one came out in the mid 90s or something like that, the dentist movie. Corbin Bernstein or something like that.
Corbin Burnson, yeah. I don't know.
Bernson.
I never really liked that dude that much. I mean, I love that movie Major League, but I don't know. It's sometimes I'd have a hard time kind of separating some actors from the roles they played for some reason. Not everybody, but sometimes I'd be like, this guy must be a dick in real life, and that was just the impression that I always got from him and shit.
It's easy for that to happen. Sometimes you gotta like disassociate yourself from that if you can. Try to catch yourself before you realize that you're putting a label on somebody that isn't exactly true. Because, like, I know from, like, watching, like, features and stuff with him, I know he did a segment for Tales from the Hood. And when
Mhm.
you hear him talking outside of an acting role, you can see he's pretty normal, But I know what you're saying. He has all, like, those kind of, like, dickhead villain kind of roles, and he's just really good at that. He's good at being that guy you fucking hate.
Yeah.
Queefle sauce. Hold the queefle sauce.
Like in that King Kong remake in '76, like Charles Grodin, he plays such a fucking asshole in that movie. And and at the time I was 11 when that came out, and I didn't know who he was, and I thought, man, this guy's a real asshole. So for years I always thought I thought he was a dick. But then he would do that too. He would go on talk shows and he would act like an asshole, and that's what it was. It was all an act. And then when I figured out, like he's just fucking around, I'm like, oh, okay, it's just
I
his
mean,
business.
it's not like back in those days you could get on your cell phone and Google the person.
Right.
Like it's like I don't know. I mean, it's so crazy in like the cell phone era that we're in. Like I know when I was like a kid and going to like sporting events like baseball games, and like you went to the game and you watched it and you went home and you waited until the next home game or whatever to get information on things. And players like profile backgrounds just weren't put out there, so everything was like really mysterious. And in a way, I feel like nowadays how easy it is to get information on things, I feel like that kind of takes away from that, like just the I don't know, just the general idea of liking something really. But yeah, it's not like you could have just Googled the guy and been like, all right, maybe he's not such a fucking asshole.
See, like in this scene too, you can tell that these are just like regular street people, dancing around with them and shit, whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some of these locals probably get excited over this shit. Like, oh shit, they got a camera over here. They making a movie.
Yeah.
Sweet and sour, tangy gooch sauce. Can I have a McFlurry queef? Queef fluff on it.
See, there's a thing, Nurse Sherry and House of Psychotic Women up on the marquee.
Yeah. McQueef is back. Queefing all over your food. I'd like to go into one of those adult movie stores and be like, do you have anything on girls queefing? It's just to see the response. You guys have any videos on girls and queefing? How about gooch? You got any gooch material?
You got any books with girls that make clam chowder?
Yeah.
They wear them little frocks and nothing else, and they make clam chowder. The ones where it shows them looking in mirrors and they're calling each other whores.
Can I please have an order of fried wonton queefs? You want fried wonton queefs? You buy, you go. I used to actually, oh man, I remember we were like younger. We used to go to this Chinese buffet, and used to hang out with a couple people that decided to be dickheads while we were there and shit, and it's turned into a regular thing. Like, you know, we go in there and buy food. As soon as we get done, the lady was like, "All right, you done? You go. You done? You go." Like, right? We're like, "Yo, chill, man. Like, let me pay for my food."
God, there used to be a place here where it was not the best Chinese, but if you were like hungry and you were in the neighborhood, you know, it would do. It would do. But they had this bullshit deal where it was like, because most buffets, like if you get there from lunch, say like say lunch is till 3 o'clock, you get there at 2 o'clock, you still charge the lunch price. But like this bitch at this place, they would charge you like dinner prices if you were past three, you know, or whatever. And I got away with it. Like the first time I told this woman, I said, "That's bullshit." You know, I said, no place else besides you charge dinner prices if you're still here. Well, you know, you come in after you still pay dinner price. I give you regular price this for lunch price this time, but no longer, you know. Just like, okay, whatever.
I mean, like, why? Like, it seems like they should know that you're like almost like a regular or something like that. Like, why give you shit over that? That's enough to make me not return. I know that. But the worst is when something like that happens at a place where the food is really fucking good and you like it, and you're like, ah, shit, I don't want to leave here, even though like
Right.
everything else sucks about this place. Yeah, no air well for you.
So here's this like song, "Damn Dog," that like she writes, and these guys are backing her up and whatnot. But you can tell that her whole style is kind of copped from like Joan Jett and everything.
I mean, they're doing a really good job at like lip syncing and all that.
No, that was actually her. She sang that song.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense then.
John motherfucking Steele is in the house. He said this film is prime New York, never to be seen again. That is true.
Hey, what's up there, John? Thanks for stopping by, man. Hope all is well with you. I'll be right back.
All right. It's good to see you, John. I'm glad you stopped in and everything. Oh yeah, and then we have the woman in the purple is ex porn star Sharon Mitchell. She makes a cameo in this film. And then Trini Alvarado in that green hat, looking like the Lucky Charms elf and shit. Yeah, you just missed the Sharon Mitchell appearance. She's like this porn
Yeah,
star.
I
She's
like
in there.
walked into the end of the live performance, it looked like.
John says he's recommended this film to a few. Yep, the Lucky Charms. And then he said, "Love this film. The only weird shit is the Tim Curry with the homegirl part."
Yo, David, what about our debate? I know you hate everything I stand for.
here's your chance to put me down like you did your daughter. Is this thing on? 4 a.m. Luckily, who's listening?
We got a caller, says she's staring out the window.
Instead of critters, it's furry Gucci's. I mean, maybe you could pitch that idea to like a porn director, you know?
Please. Take it easy.
I mean, like what's that movie, Hobgoblins? They kind of look like, you know, something like that.
Right.
All I want to do is talk with my daughter, all right? Look, she needs medical attention and other things you don't know anything about.
Yeah, well, if you're so smart, how come you didn't stop her shakes? I did.
All right, look, you've done very well. And you ought to be proud. The time has come for this to stop.
On me, shitface.
Where is she? Where is she?
Why'd you hit me again, huh? Hit me with your fist. You're big man. Come on.
Yeah, fucking, you know, Pammy's dad goes nuts and starts hitting the other chick across and slaps her around a little bit.
That's what we've got to get across to Pamela.
Yeah, but you know, she's like, you know, she's one of those New York broads. You're gonna have to do more than slap her.
Right.
She cannot tell truth from fiction. That means she reacts impulsively and violently. Her tolerance.
Yeah, like one thing I like about this so far is like all the crazy antics that they're doing, which is like, you know, makes it unpredictable but very fun to watch at the same time.
Right. I didn't know really what you would think, you know, about it, but you know, I'm glad you like it though.
Yeah, so far, you know, it's I find it to be more interesting than what you made it out to be. But you know, we all, you know, we got a movie going on where you know someone hasn't seen it before. You never know what the outcome's going to be with everyone.
Right. Well, I mean, I think it's a good movie, but it's, you know, there's a few others that I think are better that you know, with
Yeah,
the
I know
sort
what
of
you're saying. Like you're saying, like as far as like comparing it to something else, but like on its own, I can see the value in this. But you
right.
know, when you compare it to some other films, yeah, maybe it doesn't match up to some other ones.
She fucking ODs on me.
Yeah, like she overdosed on purpose. Like, fuck this, I'm gonna overdose right now. I'm out of here. She fucking ODs on me. Just imagine having that mindset, like when people overdose, like, you fucking overdose? You did that shit on purpose, man.
Well, it's like I had this friend, you know, he'd say, "How can you have an accidental overdose?" You know, he goes, "I mean, you're taking the drugs, so you're taking that chance that you're gonna die of an overdose. So how can it be accidental?"
Yeah.
Can you hear this drum? Can you feel the pain yet? Faggot social worker.
Did she just say, "Can you feel the pain yet, faggot social worker"? You know, that's one word that doesn't get thrown around anymore. Faggot. That's one word that does not get thrown around anymore.
Want to make Times Square as cold as your icy eyes? Why do you want to talk to people who aren't like you? You know, at home I heard you use these following words: big, nigger, faggot, psycho. Well, I just want you to know your daughter is one. Big, nigger, faggot, your daughter is one.
Of course, after saying the N word, the black cop comes in. This song's pretty fun though. I wish I could sing along, but it just, you know, pretty sure you would lose some subscribers if I sang this song right now.
John Steele says this film is punk era New York City. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an era that does not exist anymore. I mean, like, I'm sure half of the shit we're seeing on screen right now with, like, all, like, this rundown shit in the harbor, I'm sure, like, half of the shit's not even there anymore.
Yeah. Yep. The Dave McRae hotline is ringing now. What sort of bullshit was that? Come on, man.
And Shamarlos is here. What's up, Scott?
Yep, I was just gonna say that. Oh, he just had Skittles.
Yo, Skittles are good, but man, they fuck your teeth up bad, dude. Like I'm telling you, the second you put those things in your mouth, your teeth are decaying like right away, man. There's so much sugar in that candy.
Like, have you ever heard of that company called T-Shirt Hell? They have a bunch of like, non-PC T-shirts and stuff, and they
Off the
have
top
this.
of my head, I'll say no, but if I saw the logo, maybe that might ring a bell.
They have this one though that says "Shittles taste the asshole."
God. I can see an asshole with a rainbow coming out of it.
One of the best ones though I think that they have is it says guns don't kill people. Mario Van Peebles doesn't make a lick of sense, but it's hilarious. Yeah, now that Pam's father goes nuts and he's throwing Tim Curry around and stuff, and
it's like, what's up with this guy? Did he just like wake up one day and was like, "Yo, I gotta be a dad"? Like, I don't get it.
I guess
Yeah, John, instant diabetes. Skittles are good, but man, like sometimes I eat them now, like like today, like nowadays I eat them. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I think my teeth are about to fall out.
Thanks, John. I'll check that out. He said, "Go Peep Delivery Boys," another early New York film. Cool.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. That sounds interesting.
Me either, but
Delivery Boy, I'm gonna look that up. Yo, I saw the other day at the food market they have Skittles drinks now, and my first thing was I gotta check the sugar content. I'm not interested in buying this, but I just gotta check the sugar content, and it was like 55 milligrams of sugar. I was like, "Fuck!" Dude, like, holy shit, man, it's gonna burn a hole in you.
See, she sees her dad in there and stuff. And this bit's kind of weird because it's like, he's looking for her and shit, but the way he comes off in this, it's almost like, a predator, kind of. It's just so weird.
So, Delivery Boys was released in 1985, labeled as a sports comedy movie. Hold on, let's go on Wikipedia to get a better representation of this. Delivery Boys, 1984 film directed by Ken Hadler about a multi-ethnic group of pizza delivery boys who start a breakdancing team. Definitely a timepiece right here,
Yeah.
New World Pictures movie, too. This was released by New World Pictures. But, I wouldn't really say that breakdancing is my thing, but I can see that this movie is more than breakdancing. It's not just breakdancing, but, it's either way, I am interested to see something like this, though. It does have Mario Van Peebles in it, so I guess that's why John Steele mentioned that one. But that sounds like a good recommendation, though, man. Thanks, John. Man, that Godzilla -1, man. They need to just give that shit a physical release, man. That's why I
There is
haven't seen it yet. I
there's
can
one
watch it
coming
on
out.
movie, but I'd rather have it, my own copy and watch it on TV.
It's coming out. It's coming out in September. If you go, I think go to Godzilla.com, something like that. There's a deal. It's like 3 discs or something, and it's gonna be like the black and white version, the color version, or whatever, and some other deal. But in like a slip case and stuff like that.
Can I just get one copy of the movie for $20? That's all I want. But no, that's interesting. I'll probably look into that. But I've been hearing nothing but good things about the movie. I should probably just give it a watch on Look Movie. But
it's fucking great. Jimmy and I saw it in the theater. Really good.
I mean, I haven't really heard no negative things about it. I just been putting it off, trying to avoid watching it on Look Movie, but I'll probably just end up doing that. But I would like to, whatever, if it's a bootleg or an official release, I'd like to have some kind of physical copy for it. But we'll see. Yeah, that jacket that Tim Curry has on with the American flag and the stars, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
It has American flags on each side with stars and shit. Actually look really cool.
And the girls keep throwing these fucking old TVs off,
Yeah, dude. I love how they go in slow motion so you can take the impact in of the TVs being thrown. Damn.
Doing it for all us stay at home. Let it be passionate.
I really hope the father gets killed at the end of this movie. Man, this guy sucks. I just hate this guy. He sucks, man. Now he's got a TV in his windshield. What the One Nut Henry. What the fuck? One Nut Harry and the Hendersons. That's a movie I haven't seen in years, man. Harry and the Hendersons. Fuck, I forgot about that one. John Lithgow, I think, plays the father in that, man. I remember me and my brother watching that at a very young age on TV, man.
Because when I was mentioning Charles Grodin, and then there's that fucking movie he did, Clifford, where Martin Short plays that supposed to be a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted to just shoot Martin Short in the head for making the movie.
Understandable.
John Steele says you haven't made her queef unless it flutters out maybe more than 3 times.
Oh man, fuck. One time's enough for me to make it stop.
I think we lost some people with that one because we went down to faux.
Well, maybe they just wanted to queef real quick. They'll be right back.
That I couldn't. I can't. Not yet.
I can't come home yet, 'cause I'm a goonie.
Make it soon.
I don't know, Rosalie. It was just one of those things. It annoyed the fuck out of me. But then there's like little Nicky. It annoys the fuck out of me too.
I like Little Nicky. It's funny.
I can't stand his fucking voice. That's why I can't get through that movie. You know.
Yeah, but like I'm able to realize that it's all a joke. Like I can understand like being irritated to a certain point, but like I don't know. That's hard to say for some people, I guess. Like I know that Little Nicky is like by all standards not like some award-winning movie, but like just some situations that happen in that movie, like there really is some hilarious moments in it. Like you can really put that movie at the bottom of the barrel if you want, but I think that movie really does have its moments. It's definitely not a movie I can take very seriously, but as a comedy and for what you get with it, it does, have some fun fucking moments throughout it.
I mean, it's
just the whole idea that Hitler gets a pineapple shoved up his ass every day at 4:30, like that shit's hilarious.
Well, that sounds funny. Yeah.
And then like they have him like walking around like wearing like a tutu outfit and shit. Like it's just I don't know. And then like you got that one guy who ends up like growing tits on his head and he's gonna wear a bra on his head. It's just like little shit like that you see throughout it. Ah, V is here. Vanta, what's up, V? Good morning, everyone.
So here's this whole deal where they're getting into this argument because she's telling her we should get the Blondells and go take over the radio station and hold Johnny hostage unless he wants to join us and stuff. And and she's like, I don't want to be famous. And then that's where they have their huge blow up.
All right. Where are we at? Oh wow, this movie's moving along quick. Like overall I've enjoyed this so far. We're like an hour and 20 minutes into the night, hour 19 I'm at. But I really think it's the setting in this movie that really works well for me. Just that Times Square setting itself. And then all the chaos that comes with it that's, surrounded with the atmosphere. But I think I can see what you're saying, though, Tex. How, like, when you compare this to the Fabulous Stains, like music-wise too, I would probably lean a little bit towards that a bit more. But yeah, V, we're not gonna have Juno with us probably for like the rest of the month. He's got some other priorities going on right now, and he just can't join us for pretty much like the rest of this month or something like that. But he'll definitely be back with us soon, so there's no like major issue with that or nothing. He just needs some time to himself to take care of some things, that's all. But he is still uploading movie reviews and stuff on his channel, so he's still finding time to do what he's got to do. And yeah, I mean, like the way I see it with Juno, man, like he's been a trooper in my opinion. Like another thing I can realize with him that he likes hanging out with us and doing this because I mean he kind of got me on this kick where he's like, I went back and watched the movie and I was like, maybe I should start doing that. Like just you know, just to be brought up to date and be familiar with certain movies before doing a watch party. And I was like, you know, it's not a bad idea, Juno. I think I'm going to start doing that. And that's what I've been doing now. Like before I do these watch parties, I do try to sit down and watch the movie on my own. Because I don't know, it's just, you know, with so many great movies out there, it's really hard to remember all these details sometimes. So sometimes I need a refresher and to go back and watch a movie to be brought up to date on things. But just that alone, I think, is like, you know, really tells me that Juno wants to join us, and you know, he likes hanging out with us and everything. You know, he's dedicated to that. And like another thing is, like, I see sometimes that he'll look at the schedule and then he'll go out and buy a copy of a movie of something that we have scheduled. So if you're doing that, then yeah, it should really tell you that, you know, he looks forward to doing this stuff. But you know, with saying all that, overall, he just, you know, he just needs a break right now. That's all. Yeah, Juno's currently doing movie reviews for the Alien franchise right now. Yeah, like I mean, I'm not going to sit here and talk about Juno the rest of the stream, but like one thing I really like about his reviews is you get no filter or editing with him. You know, he really just, you know, you get Juno at 100%, and sometimes I find that to be rare with like, you know, videos and reviews on YouTube sometimes. Man, dude, shit is really getting out of hand now.
Yeah. And here's they're playing Pissing in a River by Patti Smith. I used to have this cousin of mine. She lived in New York. And I'd asked her if she'd ever gone to CBGB's, and she said no. But she said I did see Patti Smith play in Central Park, and she said that she was really drunk, and Patti Smith was really drunk, and she took a shit on stage. And I was like, ah, she's full of shit. You know, I thought, you know, my cousin was lying. And then years later, I'm working. I had this boss, and he was from New York, and I had to drop something off at his apartment, and he goes, you know, I knew he was a huge Patti Smith fan, and I said, oh, let me see those Patti Smith bootlegs you were telling me about. And he said, yeah, he goes, yeah, and he was showing me, you know, a couple of them. And he goes, this one was at a show in Central Park that I saw. He goes, she was drunk and she took a shit on stage. I was like, well, my cousin was right then. You know?
I mean, that's not something you can plan out, right?
No.
I mean, you know, it's not like you could be like, well, tonight I'm going to take a shit on stage, you know? Like, yeah, the act is vulgar and disgusting, but like, I just love the fact that how spontaneous it is. Just like, you know what, I have to take a shit right now in the middle of this performance.
Well, I guess,
yeah, the best thing to do is do it right here on this stage.
well, you know, actually, I guess the only one person that ever did plan that shit out was like Gigi Allen, because I know he would take laxatives and shit before shows, and Oh
So
man.
that's not even cool, man. Like you're planning out to take a shit on stage. Like, come on, man. It's
Oh,
gotta be like, it's gotta be like, I gotta take a shit. I'm not gonna
he
take
was.
a break. I'm gonna go right here.
I mean, thank God I never saw him live or had the desire, but I remember like I had this one pen pal and she sent me this letter and she said, I saw Gigi Allen last night. Everything you've read about him is true. And she said that he had like shit on stage and he was throwing it around at people. He fucking he blew his guitar player. I mean, he's just doing all this like fucked up shit. And it's fucking like, I mean, I don't know. Jimmy used to have a couple of like DVDs of concerts, and we watched that shit. And I was like, God, man. I mean, he was punching this one girl in the head and shit, and all sorts of shit. But the funniest thing is, I had a friend who actually like he wasn't playing a Houston show; he was playing Dallas and Austin, and so they had like corresponded like I guess through the mail. And when Gigi was in prison for a while, he would call my friend up every once in a while. So they're playing this show, and he calls him up and he says, "We're playing in Austin tomorrow. Come up here." So he goes up there, and this friend of mine, his name was Connell, and he was a big fucking dude. I mean, like just this big dude. So they're sitting there and stuff, and they're talking. He introduces himself and stuff, and they're sitting there, and then it got real quiet. Then all of a sudden, Gigi just goes bam and fucking punches him in the face. And so Khan's reaction, wasn't to like fucking hit him back or anything. He just, kind of stunned because he, was like kind of looked up to him or whatever. And he just goes, "Why did you do that?" And he just goes, "You intimidate me, man." And so then Khan just got up and left, and drove back home. And then the next day, Gigi calls him up on the phone and says, "Listen, I'm sorry about yesterday. Come on up to Dallas and I'll put you on the guest list." And so I guess he drove, you know, up to Dallas to, go see him play or whatever. But I'm just like, fuck, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that's a bit much there.
Yeah.
Not a very I don't know, not a very cool person to hang out with, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Khan's dead anyway. He fucking wound up committing suicide and shit, but it was just ridiculous.
So I think we're on the final half hour here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got that, supposed to look like a burglar mask that she painted on her face.
I was just like thinking to myself, like she's such a badass. She should just get that tattooed on her face. I'm dedicated to this shit. Getting it tattooed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I did. Yeah, I mentioned that one earlier about Trini Alvarado being in the Frighteners with Michael J. Fox, and then our good buddy Peter Jackson that directed that pre, you know, Board of the Rings.
Bored of the Ring.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't mind the Lord of the Rings movies, but they are a bit overhyped sometimes.
The it's like when I introduced you tonight, and then I introduced myself as Tom Jones, and I haven't done any Tom Jones stuff yet.
Yeah,
It's not
on the final half hour, go for it.
it's not unusual to be bored as fuck as you. There we go.
Man. Not unusual to beat the shit out of this song. Wasn't he another one that converted his career to performing in Vegas? One
He
of those
he
weirdos.
probably did for a while, but I mean, he used to have a variety show when I was a kid. My mother loved him. She thought he was great, you know. And I've never minded him at all. I mean, I always thought it's kind of cool how, like in that, he has an appearance in the Jerky Boys movie, and he does covers Lenny Kravitz. Are you going to go my way? And he does a really good job.
Yeah, I've never been much of a Lenny Kravitz fan. Lord of the Cock Rings. Jesus Christ. I'm sure that's been made. Let's look that up real quick. Let's see what comes up for Lord of the Cock Rings.
Famous murder and entertainer. I'm throwing a concert tonight in Times Square. Celebrate my escape from mental illness.
Tom Jones, Steel.
Yo, it is a fucking porno. 2002 it was released. Lord of the Cock Rings. I knew it, man. It's too good of a title to ignore for a porno.
Well, I remember there being a porn called Heinfeld, like a takeoff on Seinfeld. It's like, oh, what the fuck?
But you can also download it on Internet Archive right now too. Lord of the Cock Rings.
No.
So yeah, if anybody wants that on their cell phone, go ahead, download it. Wet Nurses 7. The Two Towers. Rename it as the Two Boners.
One theater was showing 10. I couldn't see what the other one, because that's one of the good things though about this film, though, like you said, is like trying to see what they're showing at the marquees and stuff.
But I noticed throughout it, there's a lot of clips like that, but a lot of them are quick, so you got to be quick to read them too.
So all these girls are showing up for like the final show, or whatever.
But it also seems like when you keep seeing multiple movie titles at that theater, it kind of tells me that they really had a wide schedule of filming this. Like it seems like they probably would film, probably like a bunch here and there in 1 week. They would probably take like a week off or something, and then they're changing up movies at the theater, and that's why you're probably seeing different backgrounds. That's just me guessing on that.
Can't be like you. Different.
Bedman and Throbbing is a porn. Yeah, there was Buttman.
Now you guys need to see Assy McGee. There used to be a show on Adult Swim, and it's just 2 legs and an ass walking around with a gun, acting like a cop, trying to kill people and stuff. And I remember I was watching like one of the episodes one time, and like he shot somebody, and the guy's like, "Ah, you shot me!" And then he shot him again. And he's like, "Ah, damn, you shot me!" He's like, "I need a doctor." He's like, "Now you need 2 doctors," and shoots him again. It's just like it really was like one of those like Adult Swim shows that was like 15 minutes long. You know, it's like utterly ridiculous and like, you know, only like worthy for like 15 minutes before it gets old. But like I just remember that line. It's like, "Ah, you shot me." And he's like, "Ah, you shot me again." He's like, "Now you need 2 doctors." Thought you need 1 doctor, but now you need 2 doctors.
I like that one. Oh man, I can't think of the fucking name, but about that dog that worships Satan. That shit was hilarious.
It was on Adult Swim?
Yeah.
I know once I pull it up, I'm gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that one." I just kind of forget right now. Like I used to watch a lot of that stuff, like back in like from like 2005 to 2010. I would like watch Adult Swim like almost regularly, but I kind of just grew out of it.
Oh, Mr. Pickles, that's what it is.
Yeah, okay. I knew it was gonna be something that was familiar. I remember that show. Yeah. Yeah, you remember the Mike Tyson show too? Didn't they have like the Mike Tyson cartoon and shit or whatever the fuck it was? Mike Tyson's Mysteries or something like that, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that.
I gotta find the title of that. Mike Tyson.
There's these 2 girls, and then here's this pimp lighting one of the girls' cigarettes, you know, and then these kids are selling like dollar beers and stuff. And they
talk about like a wide. It really is like a wide variety of crowds here. You get everybody.
Sleeve bag, $1, and then this old geezer buys one.
Yeah, that show was called Mike Tyson's Mysteries, though. It was like 4 seasons.
Tyson's Chicken Gizzard.
I'd watch Mike Tyson's Chicken Gizzards.
The Gooch bit prequel to The Hobbit, yeah. This is Tim Curry, and I'm not using my English accent for this film. Thank you.
Like, dude, I really like that. Like, you know, like this almost turns into like a comic book movie in a way. You know, like she's like this, like, you know, like she's like this, like I don't know, like this, like well-liked villain in a way. You know, like all these other girls are influenced and inspired now. They're all painting their face and everything with the black makeup.
Yeah,
TV sucks.
That's the whole, you know, Stains deal, you know, because they're not skunks, they're sleaze sisters, you know, and stuff.
Yo, I just saw, it was a quick scene, the same cop from Lucio Fulci's Zombie is a cop in this movie. So something's telling me that guy might be a real New York cop. It's the scene when the zombie comes out from the you know, like the bottom of the boat. He comes out and he attacks the one guy, but the other guy's like, "You go down there, I'll fix the fucking sail." And like, that's the red haired guy. I just saw him real quick and was like, "Fuck, I know that guy." I've watched Zombie a million times.
Well, see, something like this, when they have a crowd, they probably did have to have, you know, actual cops, you know, and stuff, and they couldn't just.
Well, yeah, you're right. Like they need a permit. They got to shut down that whole block. So they're probably renting that block right now, and it probably costs them a lot of fucking money to rent that block and shut it down. Especially a major block in New York City like that. That shit's expensive, man. So they probably rented that block out for like 5 hours. I can only imagine how much money that costs. Sleaze sisters. Oh my god. You know, I think I might trade in my hoodie for a trash bag now.
Senor Russell Collier's here. He's late, but he still made it in.
The way I see it, late is better than not showing up because a lot of people don't show up. So, hey, what's up there, Russell?
They can't blow all of yous away.
Yeah, John Steele's 100% right about that, which is like, yeah, I mean, I briefly mentioned that like earlier in the stream, but guerrilla filmmaking at its finest really is, man. That's another thing you don't see in today's filmmaking. You don't see ballsy filmmakers just showing up on scene and being like, "Yo, just get over there, and I'm gonna fucking scream action, and we're going, man." That's just, I don't know, man. I really think there was like a certain thing about 70s, 80s, and even going into the early 90s, just that style of filmmaking. Like, yeah, you need permits and shit, but a person I think who's like a really good example of that, who was kind of took guerrilla filmmaking like over the limit in a way, like was still doing it in the 90s, and that's William Lustig, man, the director of Maniac Cop. He was, the type of guy, he would, he'd be more willing to take the fine for it than actually, because like if you're not going to get fined, then you take the chance of getting the footage that you want, and you don't have to pay nothing, no permit or nothing, And I can see that being worth it. Like, all right, if you get caught doing it, all right, you're going to get a fine for the night. It's like, okay, well, pay it here or pay it later. Yeah, Abel Ferreira, especially with Miss 45, man. That's another guerrilla filmmaker right there.
Yeah, that's going to be fun, Russell. I've got a big day that day. 3 streams in a day.
Yeah, I've done it before, man. It is a lot. I've done it before, 3 streams in one day. Dick Slashy, I forgot about that. Dick Slashy Owens.
So she jumps off that roof, and the girls had that thing to catch her and all, There was a sign back there that said Frankfurter Hamburger, but there was no picture of Tim Curry as Frankfurter. And then her fucking dad, of course, shows up, up there and stuff.
And finally, he's not all like, disheveled and all over the fucking place.
Right.
Oh my God, there's a Modell's on that strip. The Modell's sporting goods store. Oh my God, that's crazy. Modell's isn't even around anymore.
Screams of a Winter Night and Redeemer, Son of Satan.
What about Redeemer, Son of Satan? That's a movie no one ever talks about.
It's on the marquee.
Is it really? I had no idea that a movie like Redeemer, Son of Satan actually played in a theater. It's such an obscure movie.
Right. Edge of Foo and Snuff, Edge of Fury, and then Snuff.
Yeah, yeah, and the Snuff movie that came out in '76, I think. I think the Snuff
Yeah,
movie came out in '76.
that's a real piece of shit.
I think it's overhyped. You know,
That
like
that too.
it's a controversial movie. I know that, but like at this point, when like you watch that, especially with all the other movies that are like that, you watch movies that are similar to that, and it just doesn't live up to the hype, in my opinion. But yeah, that is the end of the movie there. So yeah, dude, overall, I'd say I give it a 7 out of 10. I
Cool.
enjoyed it a little bit more than I thought I would. But like overall, it is cool to see what they were able to really utilize in that Times Square area to get this movie done. And I'm glad I finally was able to see something like this. So it's good call there, Tex.
Still, I could make that happen at some point. Sure.
Oh shit.
It's like that. I don't know if you ever saw it, but there's that show that was on HBO called The Deuce. They did like 3 seasons, and it's
Dude, that was
really,
really good.
yeah, that was fucking great.
I remember when the first season came out, I watched it out of sheer boredom. I was like, I couldn't find anything new to watch, and I was like, what is this Deuce show? And before you know it, I was binging the entire thing, man. Like that was a really good fucking show for what you get with that, especially with like, a show that's taking place in, the Times Square area in New York during the '70s when the, prostitute prostitute thing, like prostituting women was like becoming like a big thing. Then the pornos were coming out. I think they did a really good job with that show. I know James Franco is like one of the actors and creators of the show. I know he did some directing on it. You have Maggie Gyllenhaal was also on that show. But as for the 3 seasons where that lasted, I thought that was some good TV right there.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
And just the way they recaptured, that setting back in those days in the '70s, like there's certain episodes when I watch that, like it does such a good job at really taking you back to that time.
It's so funny how they like really played the hell out of this Roxy Music song in here, and then some of the others you barely heard. It's weird.
Yeah, sometimes that's the way things play out. But yeah, before anybody in the chat jumps out of here, looks like we had 12 people left here in the chat. This Friday, we're going to be watching David Fincher's Alien 3. This Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It looks like we're going to have Texas, Larry from the Horror Cat Dad, and P. Rich from the Hatchet Boys joining us on the panel. And yeah, we have a pretty full one this weekend. So yeah, Friday, we're going to be watching Alien 3. And Sunday will be the first double feature watch party on the channel for Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. But the watch party on Sunday, it's not going to start at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to move that up an hour because of the fact that that's going to be like a 4.5-hour stream. So we're going to have that start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time instead of 10 o'clock. So yeah, there's definitely some good things lined up for this weekend. Not just me, but other people are doing some cool things too. So
Yeah, I've got. I'm gonna be on a versus stream, Dawn of the Dead versus Zombie, On Subjective Perspective Collective's Dirk's channel, on his channel. I'm on Team Dawn of the Dead with Creepy Kentuckian and Uncle Bill from Dead Pit Radio. And then Dirk and Darren are on the zombie side with something Visions of Terror or something. I'm sorry, I forget who it is. And then after that, I'll be on Gizmos for Something's Rotten in the Collection. And then I'll be with you. So I'll be like I said, I got a full day that day.
Yeah, dude, just buy like an 8-ball of Coke. You'll get through it, man. That is going to be a lot for you to handle there. But, you know, like I said, though, if for some reason when I start my stream and you feel like you can't handle to do that stream, if you got to bail out of it, just let me know. It's totally understandable.
You know, well, if I just pass out, you know, don't bother to wake me. You know,
yeah, I might just leave you alone there. We'll see. But you know, it's challenging to do that much in one day. I've done it before. It's fun but exhausting. Yeah. Other than that, though, that's about it, really. I mean, tomorrow I will upload an unboxing video for a certain Blu-ray release here, and still need to unbox that damn Puppet Master toy too. I gotta unbox that at some point. But other than that, you know, got plenty of stuff lined up on the channel, along with Texas too. So, you doing anything next Wednesday? You got anything planned for next Wednesday?
that's in the works because it's going to be the last Wednesday of the month, and so I'm trying to.
All right. Real quick, I have the top 5 slashers scheduled for the last Wednesday, but I think we're gonna have to push it back because I don't think Juno is gonna be able to do it, and I really don't want to do the top 5 without him. So we might just push that back to like early August. So I'll let you I'll keep you updated on that so you can find time and or whatever to fill in that space if you want.
Okay.
So I mean, as of right now, that is scheduled on my channel the 31st to do the top 5, but we're probably gonna push that back to when it's easier for Juno to do it. Because I really don't want to do the top 5 without him. Because I know I'm gonna end up being like, shit, we should have did that with Juno. Like, you know, I know that's gonna bother me.
Right.
So yeah, it's scheduled right now for 31st, but you know, more than likely it's gonna end up getting pushed back. So if you want to take next Wednesday, you know, I'll stay in touch with you and just let me know what you want to do.
Okay. Because Jason had asked me if I'd ever seen Filth and the Fury, and I was thinking about doing a documentary for the last one of the month. And then next month, if you want, I could do Drink Your Blood. We could do that for one of them.
Yeah, I would love to do a watch party for that. I think that could be a lot of fun. Really, like the movie's so absurd. Like I don't know. You know, it's funny. My introduction to that movie, I Drink Your Blood, I saw that at it was like a regular horror movie screening. I think they screened like 3 or 4 movies, and that was one of the movies on the bill. And that was my introduction to it. It was like, all right, watching this movie, I Drink Your Blood, and I could not believe how absurd and hilarious it was. It's just like, yeah, man, it's so fun. I mean, just the fact that you have like a bunch of like hippie crazed assholes that have nothing else better to do with their lives, and they're like going around begging for food, and then next you know it, the food gets fucking laced with rabies, and then they eat the food, and then they're taking acid on top of it, and it just gets fucking crazy after that, man. Like, it's a fun grindhouse movie, that's for sure.
It's even more fucked that it's like, you know, an 11-year-old, 12-year-old boy or whatever that does that shit too. It's like, What?
Yeah, he gets all mad that they ended up like giving his grandpa acid, and he's like, "Oh, what's the matter with grandpa?" Like, he's all pissed off. I'm gonna get those fuckers and fucking laces the meat pies with rabies. That's a fucking fun movie, man. But yeah, other than that's all I really have lined up right now. So I'll stay in touch with you about scheduling and next Wednesday and all that.
All right, that sounds good. And I just thank you guys as always for the kind compliments and everything. It means a lot to us, and especially me, because I always feel like I'm you know 3 miles out of fucking nowhere. Whatever the fuck that means, I don't know. I'm just fucking talking.
I feel like I can like halfway understand what you're saying there. I don't know exactly, but I kind of get what you're saying. But I just overall, one thing I just really enjoy seeing is the fact that subscribers the number of subscribers is not a thing to really focus on. But I'm just gonna say this: you're at like 144 subscribers right now, and I just think it's really great to see that you get pretty good numbers as far as like likes and views go on your streams.
Right.
Because like they're kind of identical to my channel. Your numbers are like very similar, and I have like over 1,000 subscribers. You don't even have the same amount. So it's great to see that the subscribers that you have are showing up and they're watching your content. And that's what I just, I find to be like mind blowing at times. Like, damn, like it's great to see Texas is doing good with his channel. I just wish he had some, like 500 subscribers or something like that. But to me, that's kind of unheard of. It's really unheard of to see a channel with such low subscribers have good view numbers and likes. So it's obviously you're doing something right, and that's just really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, I was really happy to see Reed come in tonight, and Honky come in, and also John. I mean, to me, every time somebody that I really personally like their channels comes in, then I feel really elated. I'm like, fuck, this is cool, because you don't always get everybody that you wish would come in. I mean, we have our regulars, which I adore dearly, but when a guy like John motherfucking Steele comes in, that's a fucking honor in itself. And I'm not bullshitting. I mean, he's a great guy. I love watching his stuff when I get a chance.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that, man. I mean, like, I know not everybody's into the watch parties and stuff. Like, here's a good example. Like, Brad over at the 4K Tent Revival. Like, I've invited him to like join us before, but he just respectfully told me, like, he's like, I'm not really into the watch party stuff. But he
Yeah,
still shows up in the chat. He still shows up in the chat though.
right.
Even though he doesn't like what we're doing, like he's probably interested in the movie we're doing, he'll show up for a little while and chat with people and, do what he's got to do or whatever. But I just can't believe that there's other people out there that have been subscribed to my channel for so long and never stop by once.
Yeah.
But I have people that don't even like watch parties that stop by just out of respect. Like,
well, Brad,
just is what it is, though,
Brad did tell me, he goes, well, if you ever do a bullshit stream, I'll come up, but he said he did. Yeah, he told me the same thing. He doesn't really like doing watch alongs, but he goes, I'll come up for a bullshit stream. So.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you want to do like a pickups video or like a top video or something, I'm sure he would jump on the panel or something. But like, he just told me straight, he's like, I'm not really into the watch party stuff like that, and it makes perfect sense, man. And why drag yourself into something that you're not really into? I'd rather have somebody be honest with me instead of being like, yeah, dude, this shit's great, I love it, yeah, I'll be there, and not show up. Yeah, that's when it's just like, man. But it's, you know, people are who they are. They like what they like. You know, they're gonna click on whatever it is that makes them click on things, and it's just, I don't know. It's just whatever. I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's it. Before it gets negative, I'm gonna leave it at that. So.
All right, everyone. Thank you again, and we really appreciate it. And I will, you know, say sayonara for now. And you know, thanks again as always. See you Friday and Sunday and stuff. And,
Yeah,
you know,
busy weekend coming. So yeah, thank you all for hanging out with us tonight.
yeah, you can all see me have a meltdown on Sunday. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, so I'm going to leave you guys all with this.